Hi students, today we are discussing the digestion in human being. In the last class we have discussed about the nutrition in heterotrophic organism. What are the different stages of holozoic mode of nutrition? That is, it include ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion or excretion. And in human being, the alimentary canal and also the accessory glands are associated with the digestive system, and the alimentary canal is a long tube that extends from mouth to anus, and you can see in the diagram it is starting from mouth and end in anus. And alimentary canal is also associated with different accessory glands or digestive glands, because we know that we are taking the complex food materials like starch as carbohydrate, protein and fat molecule, and this must be digested, and to be produced its monomeric unit, and that is called as either glucose from the starch, and protein digest and produce amino acid. Fat must be digested and produce fatty acid and glycerol, and that require different digestive enzymes, and these digestive enzymes are produced by different accessory glands or digestive glands present associated with the alimentary canal. And the alimentary canal that include mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine and large intestine, and the external opening that is called as anus. So the mouth is associated with different organs like teeth, tongue and salivary gland. We know teeth is for the masticating or grinding the food material, tearing the food material, and it chew the food material with the help of tongue. Tongue is for producing it help in the digestive process or the chewing process of the food material in the mouth, and it also involved in the detect the taste by the presence of taste buds. And in human body there is three pairs of salivary glands are present. 3 in right side and 3 in left side. So in human being 6 number or 3 pairs of salivary glands are present, and salivary gland produces certain enzyme, and that also starts or begin the digestive process. So the first part of the alimentary canal is mouth, and mouth which have the different organs like teeth, tongue and salivary gland, and salivary gland is in 3 pairs or 6 number in human body, and they produces certain enzymes, and this enzyme begins the digestive process in mouth itself. And the second part, that is esophagus, you can see in the diagram as a long tube, muscular tube, and the esophagus is a muscular tube, and there is no digestive process taken place in the esophagus. Esophagus is a muscular tube, or it is commonly called as food pipe, which connect mouth with stomach. So esophagus, there is no digestive process. And the next is a J-shaped pouch, and that is called as stomach that contain gastric glands, and the gastric gland which produces different components, different chemicals, and that is involved in the digestive process, and we will study the digestion of each and every nutrient detail and the role of these organs also. So mouth, esophagus, stomach that contain gastric glands, and after stomach there is small intestine which have 3 major region, that is duodenum, jejunum, and the third part is ileum. And to the small intestine, the major digestive gland, that is liver and also pancreas, will join. Liver and pancreas will be joined with the small intestinal region. And liver and pancreas which play an very important role in the process of digestion. And the next is large intestine, and large intestine leading to the external opening, and it is called as anus. So what are the different parts of alimentary canal? The alimentary canal which have a long tubular structure which starts from mouth and it ends in anus. And the first part of the alimentary canal is mouth, then esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and the external opening that is called as anus. And the mouth is associated with three different organs: teeth, tongue and salivary glands. And how many salivary glands is present in human being? 6 number, 3 pairs, 3 in right side and 3 in left side. And next is a muscular tube that is called as esophagus. And next is stomach, a muscular pouch like structure, and there is gastric glands are present. And next, tubular and lengthiest part of the small our digestive system, and that is small intestine. And small intestine is in connection with liver and pancreas. Then after small intestine, large intestine, and it end in the opening called anus. So this is our alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is associated with different gastric or different digestive glands, and these digestive glands which secrete different enzymes and that digest the starch into glucose and protein into amino acid and fat into fatty acid and glycerol. So next we can study what are the role of different digestive glands and how the digestion taking place in our body. So the next is, we know the holozoic mode of nutrition that involve ingestion. Ingestion is done by mouth, and the digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion of the waste material. Everything which is doing in our digestive system itself. And the different parts are associated with the digestive system are mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, anus, and accessory glands like digestive glands like salivary gland, gastric gland, liver and also pancreas are involved in the digestive process. And that what are their functions? Like mouth is the swallowing part, and it is the first part of our digestive system, and here the grinding of food material taken place with the help of teeth and tongue which help in the mastication of the food material, and it is also involved in detecting the taste of food material because taste receptors are present in the taste buds or taste receptors are present in our tongue. And so it mixes, the tongue help in the mixing the food material with the saliva. We know that salivary gland which produce saliva, and saliva which has an enzyme called salivary amylase. Saliva which has an enzyme called salivary amylase, or it is also called as ptyalin. Salivary amylase is produced by salivary gland and it is present in saliva. And what is the role of saliva? Saliva which digests the starch into maltose. In your textbook it is given as it is converting into sugar. The name of that sugar is maltose. What is the difference between starch and maltose? Starch is a long chain of glucose molecule. Starch is a long chain of glucose molecule. So this is glucose, this is another glucose, this is another glucose, and thousands of glucose molecule may be present in one starch molecule, and salivary amylase which break down this starch into maltose. Maltose is a disaccharide. What is a disaccharide? 2 glucose unit. One glucose unit bonded with another glucose unit. So it is a long chain and it break down into 2 united molecule that is called as a disaccharide or maltose. So salivary amylase which act on saliva and that digest the starch into produce maltose, a disaccharide. So this digestion of starch, digestion of carbohydrate that begin in our mouth. So the digestion of starch which begin in the mouth, that is the role of mouth in the digestive process. One is grinding of the food material with the help of tongue, teeth and saliva, and saliva which digests the starch into maltose. So this is very important. And the next part of our alimentary canal, gastrointestinal tract, that is esophagus. Esophagus is a muscular tube. This is commonly called as food pipe. This is commonly called as food pipe, and there is no digestive process taken place. It is a food pipe. It acts as a path for transferring the masticated food into the stomach. So this is a region that connects with the stomach region, and the movement of food through the esophagus is called as peristaltic movement. It is a rhythmic, wavy movement of the muscular part of the esophagus wall, and that lead to the movement of food and reaches the stomach region. So in the esophagus, it is a muscular tube, and it is commonly called as food pipe, and there is no digestion of food material taken place. The important thing that is how the food is moving, and the food is moving through the peristaltic movement or peristalsis. And the next important part of our stomach, that is digestive system, that is stomach. And stomach has gastric glands which is present in the stomach wall, and it produces three major components or three major chemicals. One is pepsinogen. Pepsinogen is an inactive form of pepsin, so it can be called as pepsin also. Pepsin. Gen, which means to produce. So it is an inactive form. Pepsinogen is an inactive form. It will be converted into pepsin in later time. So pepsin, it is produced by the gastric gland, and hydrochloric acid. And that is an important one. What is the role of hydrochloric acid in stomach or digestive process? Hydrochloric acid which activate pepsin. Hydrochloric acid which activate pepsin. How? Naturally, in the gastric gland that produces pepsinogen, and it is an inactive form. This is inactive, and that acted by the hydrochloric acid, then it become converted into pepsin, that is the active form. So hydrochloric acid activate pepsin, the first function. The second is it kills the microbe swallowed along with the food material. When we are taking the food material, it may contain many microorganisms like fungal spores or bacterial spores, and it may be killed by the action of hydrochloric acid, and it makes the medium, the gastric medium, acidic, and which activate the digestive process. So hydrochloric acid which activate pepsin. Pepsin is produced in the inactive form called pepsinogen, and it will be activated into the active form called pepsin by the action of hydrochloric acid, and it kills the microbe that is swallowed along with the food material, and it make the medium acidic for the action of the digestive enzyme. And the third one, that is mucus. Mucus is also produced by the gastric gland, and it protects the stomach from the corrosive action of the hydrochloric acid. We know hydrochloric acid is very, very powerful, and the pH is about 1 to 2 pH will be there, and it is very, very powerful. So it must be protected from the corrosive action of hydrochloric acid by the mucus. So mucus which is produced by the gastric gland, and this mucus which protect the stomach wall. And what is which digestion is taken place? The digestion of starch do not taken place in the stomach. Digestion of fat molecule is also not taken place in stomach. Only the digestion of protein will be starts. The digestion of protein starts in the stomach. And here we know that pepsinogen is produced by the gastric glands of stomach wall, and this become activated into pepsin by the help of hydrochloric acid, and this pepsin act on protein. Protein is also a long chain of amino acids. Protein is also long chain of amino acid, and that break down into smaller components. It is not breaking down into amino acid. It is if it is a long chain that contain numerous amino acids, maybe 100 or 300 amino acids, it must be break down into a long chain, smaller fragments of chain, and that is called as peptone. So protein which is digested by pepsin, and it is converted into peptone with the help of pepsin. So what is the difference between pepsinogen and pepsin? Pepsinogen is the inactive form. It is produced by the gastric gland, and by the action of hydrochloric acid, it will be converted into the active form, and that is called as pepsin. We know Pepsi, soft drink. Pepsi, that means to digest. The meaning of the pepsin, that means to digest. So it digests the protein material. It digests the protein into peptone. So the digestion of starch begins in the mouth and the digestion of stomach which begin in the stomach. But it is not completed. So the process will be continuing and it will be completed in the small intestine. So once again we will revise what we have studied today. That is, one is what are the parts of a gastrointestinal tract or alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is a muscular tube and it is associated with different digestive glands. What are the parts of the alimentary canal? Mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine and anus. And the mouth is associated with three major organs. One is teeth, tongue, and the third is salivary glands. And how many salivary glands are present in our body? 6 number or 3 pairs, 3 in left and 3 in right. And the next is esophagus, muscular tube. Then stomach has gastric gland. Gastric gland produces pepsin, hydrochloric acid and mucus. And the next part is small intestine. Small intestine is associated with liver and also pancreas. Then large intestine and the external opening called anus. So each part has different function and specified function, and when the food is going through this all the parts, everything will be taken place. One is ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion of food material, waste material. So next we will study about the function of small intestine, and small intestine is very important part because all the digestion is completing in the small intestine, and the absorption and also absorption of water and mineral nutrients, everything will be completed at the end of the large intestine, and the waste material will be excreted. So about small intestine and also large intestine, absorption and excretion will be studied in the next class. So you must be write down all the parts, and the diagram of alimentary canal is important, and the digestion of the role of salivary amylase and the role of hydrochloric acid, and how the digestion of protein taken place in the stomach, everything is important. So make clear notes from the video, and we will discuss the small intestine and the digestive process, the rest of the digestive process in the
Bright Education Center, Medical and Engineering Entrance Coaching Center, Hilal area, Doha, Qatar. For further enquiries, contact 306 00679.